Hello, friends. We are in one of the rooms from the Kehila building. As you see outside the window, that's the big shul. All around, you have these little rooms. I think it was done also like in an imitation of the Beit HaMikdash, which was also had a bunch of lishkot. They were called lishka this, lishka that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this was called the Lishkat HaRabbanut or the Dayan's room. Here would be a portrait of the Yitzchok Abuhav, the Fonseca that we spoke about before. And now we're going to talk about one of the big main Rabbanim here was called Rabbi Yaakov Sasportas, very famous rabbi, one of the most famous rabbis of the Portuguese community in Amsterdam. Rabbi Yaakov Sasportas was born in Algeria in 1610. He was the 11th generation from the Ramban, the Moshe ben Nachman, the Nachmanides. He had to flee Algeria because of certain persecutions, and he had lived in Morocco in a city called Sa'ali. And in 1651, he moved to Amsterdam. He was part of the delegation that went with Menashe ben Yisroel, another figure up here, which we'll talk about here, also one of the famous people from the Portuguese community. And in 1656, he joined a delegation together with Menashe ben Yisroel, the Yaakov Sasportas, and they went to London to plead the case of the Jews that they should be able to have permission to re-enter and live in London and in England. In 1664, he actually became the rabbi in London. We'll see. It really eventually happened that the Jews were allowed to return. Menashe ben Yisroel won't have that privilege because he passed away on the way, but that we'll talk in the next video. And then he was for a time officiated in Hamburg, in the Sephardic community in Hamburg in 1666. He was also in Livorno. And in 1684, he returned to Amsterdam. He had eventually taken over when Yitzchok Abuhav the Fonseca passed away, and he himself passed away in 1698. He was very famously known for his very anti-stand. He was from the only rabbis that were very against, vocally against the Sabbatean movement from its inception, from its beginning. In the beginning, he had written a whole book about it, but he had never published it. Some argue that the reason he didn't publish it is because he was scared to publish it, because it was against the tide of the times. But eventually, parts of it was published by the Yaakov Emden. It's called Tzitz Neuvel Tzvi. This is the story of Rabbi Yaakov Sasportas.